Tonight on Cronkite News, differing debates on how local law enforcement should interact with ICE in Arizona.
And controversy around the city of Phoenix plans to reinstall photo safety cameras.
And the new head coach of the Arizona Cardinals is speaking out for the very first time. What he has in store for the team. Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Aaliyah Steinley.
And I'm Ron Cunningham. Thank you for joining us.
Recent immigration raids have raised a lot of questions about how local law enforcement should get involved. Immigrant advocates, state lawmakers, and local police departments all want to see something different. Cronkite News reporter Abby Jurek joins us from the newsroom. Abby, how is the debate playing out in Arizona?
Republican lawmakers want to see the police and sheriff departments cooperate more with immigration enforcement, while protesters are pushing back. Protesters in Arizona and around the country are angry at ICE and frustrated with local police.
It's going to be hard for our community. It's already a lot of people afraid to call 911.
Alma Mendoza is a community activist, concerned that local law enforcement may work too closely with ICE already.
We don't support ICE. We don't want ICE in our communities.
Following raids at Zips restaurants in the Valley, Arizona police departments tried to clarify their involvement with ICE. Cronkite News heard from 8 police departments across the state, each sharing similar responses. The department said they do not enforce federal immigration laws, but do collaborate with federal partners on serious criminal investigations. Republican leadership in the state legislature want police to do more.
This simply seeks to have local law enforcement cooperate with federal law enforcement.
State Senator Wendy Rogers was not available for an interview, but she proposed a bill that would require local law enforcement to immediately notify ICE if they arrest someone without legal status. Her Republican colleagues agreed.
Arizona must follow federal law. Period. End of story.
In a hearing on Senate Bill 1055 last week, protesters pushed back.
You are terrorizing our communities and you know it, champ.
All 4 Republican members of the Military Affairs and Border Security Committee voting yes on the bill proceeding.
I wholeheartedly vote aye.
And all 3 Democratic members voting no.
I pray and I vote no.
The bill passed through committee down party lines. A similar bill passed last year, but Democrat Governor Katie Hobbs vetoed it. Rogers proposed a related bill that would require hospitals to gather information on immigration status. This is now facing similar pushback. In the newsroom, Abby Jurek, Cronkite News.
As immigration enforcement ramps up across the country in Arizona, legislation is being introduced that would impact undocumented individuals seeking health care, causing fear and uncertainty. Cronkite News reporter Izzy Ludlow spoke to one person working to put that fear to rest for undocumented people in Arizona.
As a child, Jose Patino said access to health care wasn't easy. He said his family came to America from Mexico when he was 6.
In addition, when we sought help, they didn't want to take care of us because we didn't have health insurance and we didn't have legal status.
Patino now works for Aliento, an organization that encourages students and young adults to speak to their representatives about issues facing immigrants.
They just really inspired me and really just kind of uplifted me as a young student. I think I was like 15 years old. But just really making me feel like I can make an impact.
As immigration bills are passing through committees, this group spoke with leaders on both sides to put a face to their issues. The day they were at the Capitol, a Senate committee passed a bill that would ask hospitals to report immigration status through a voluntary patient survey. I reached out to Republican lawmakers who approved the bill, but they were unavailable for interviews.
My mother was born in Mexico. I've never been more proud to be an American of Hispanic descent.
In the committee hearing, Republican State Senate T.J. Shope said immigrants shouldn't be afraid.
The reality is that this is nothing more than data collection, and you're going to get your care.
Republicans who back the bill say it's important for Arizonans to understand how much money is being spent in hospitals on undocumented immigrants. And they acknowledge different struggles and want to reach a decision that benefits everyone, something advocates say they want to.
Because I really want to know their perspective. As people, like, why do they proposing this?
The bill is still working through the Arizona Senate. With a Republican majority, it is likely to pass before getting to the State House. In Phoenix, Izzy Ludlow, Cronkite News.
The bill, SB 1051, hits another milestone in the state Senate today, passing through the Senate caucus.
The partial government shutdown is coming to an end this afternoon. A final vote has passed on a $1.2 trillion spending package that includes temporary funding for ICE and is heading for Trump's desk. House Speaker Mike Johnson spoke about DHS funding earlier today.
If the Democrats do insist on keeping the government shut down, their pointless obstruction is going to have no effect on border security, which we have done, we've secured, or immigration enforcement.
This measure will keep the government funded until September 30th and includes short-term funding for DHS. This came after the government voted for a partial shutdown on Friday over Republican and Democrat disagreements on funding for DHS.
Driving through Phoenix won't feel like a speedway anymore. At least that's what the city of Phoenix is hoping for. The city announced that photo safety cameras will return starting February 23rd. 17 of these photo safety cameras will be added around the city. 9 of the cameras will rotate every 6 months to areas associated with speed-involved crashes. The remaining 8 will be placed in school zones. The first batch of speeders caught by cameras will see warnings instead of citations during a 30-day warning period.
Other news in Arizona, signs of forced entry were reported at the house belonging to the mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie. 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie was reported missing around noon on Sunday and was last seen Saturday night. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos says she was removed from her home against her will. Homicide detectives are involved in the case and have found signs of forced entry. And DNA samples from the house were submitted for testing.
Over at the TPC Scottsdale Stadium course, pro golfers are gearing up for a WM Phoenix Open. Cronkite News reporter Matthew Pierce is out there now to tell us what to expect for weather this weekend.
As you can see, the pros are warming up here on the range in blue, clear skies to start the WM Phoenix Open week. If we take a look back at history of weather out here, 2024, the infamous rain year where we saw rain come through periodically and gusts getting up to 20 miles an hour. 2025, we saw highs range between 72 and 77 respectfully throughout the week. Now, if we take a look at this year, we're expecting weather to break over 80 with highs to hover between 81 and 83. On Thursday, there's a chance for gusts to get up to 25 miles an hour heading east to northeast, which will directly impact holes like number 5, changing golfers' approach. Now, for more information on highs and lows throughout the week, Ray Tadoko has more later in the show.
Thanks, Matt. Coming up next, we'll take a look at challenges facing Balsz Elementary District.
Just one more district in the valley forced to wrestle with closing a school building.
You know, every day I wake up and I'm like, it's the day that, I no longer have a job.
Teacher and district leaders' reactions coming up next on Cronkite News.
Into those early morning lows, we're up north.
Trail runs about a mile long and not only features different textures and terrain.
65 to 63 after Florida's defense stopped them.
Welcome back. Across the state, many school districts are facing budget cuts.
But rather than cuts to resources for some, there's a risk of the entire school closing.
Cronkite News reporter Tyler Mitchell tells us how this is impacting one East Valley district.
PE teacher Valerie Johnson at Brenson Lee Elementary School says she loves shaping the next generation of leaders. but now she could lose that opportunity.
It is a big concern. You know, if I was to sit here and say it's all roses, you know, I would be a lie. You know, every day I wake up and I'm like, is the day that, you know, I no longer have a job. You know, and it's not just for me. You know, I'm sure that there are other teachers in the district who feel the same way.
The district's governing board decided to close one of the schools in the district, but the uncertainty of which one has community members concerned. For many families and others impacted by the decision, I talked to the superintendent to understand what happens next, and is this closure just the beginning?
The options that are included are either close a school or reduce in staffing by a great deal.
With a combination of decreased enrollment rates and a shortfall of $3 million, the Balsz School District has been presented with very tough choices to make.
Now our next steps is really to wrestle with what school, and more than just which school, but like, what are we gonna do with that building? And how do we still serve our communities?
Despite the current events, community members say their main goal is to continue putting the children first.
If we don't do our jobs, if we don't do what is best and what is right for students, then we have failed. We have failed them.
In the next coming weeks, they are expected to make a final decision. In Phoenix, Tyler Mitchell, Cronkite News.
For now, community members will remain worried as Balsz district leaders have yet to decide when and which school to close.
Turning now to the weather, WM Phoenix Open goers can expect to see blue skies from the green later this week.
Ray Tadako joins us now from Cronkite News Weather Center with our full forecast.
Thank you, guys. Tonight, we are going to start at 77 degrees at 6 p.m., moving down into the evening, 67 degrees at 9 p.m., and then 65 at 10 o'clock tonight. It's going to be a little bit chilly, so if you're still out, definitely want to grab a jacket. Speaking of some of the lower temperatures tomorrow, Phoenix is going to see 60 degrees there. On the western part of the state, we're going to see some mid-50s, and then 63 in Yuma for the low. Up in the northern part of the state, Grand Canyon, Flagstaff, we're going to see the mid-20s, and then down in Tucson, we are looking at 54. Now let's look at some of the warmer temperatures for tomorrow. Phoenix is hitting 85 degrees. It's going to be really nice outside. And then we're going to see some 80s along the western part, 87 in Yuma. It's going to be a little bit hotter up there. And then in the northern part, 56 in Grand Canyon, 52 in Flagstaff, and down in Tucson, we're hitting 79. Now let's look at the rest of the week ahead. Tomorrow, we are going to see 86 degrees, some pretty clear skies, some clouds Thursday, Friday, but when the weekend comes, Super Bowl Sunday, we are going to have clear skies, 83 degrees, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, some clouds our way, and then we will hit into the 70s on Tuesday, Wednesday next week. From the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm Ray Tadako.
Taking a look at news around the nation, the Trump administration announced a $12 billion plan to create a reserve of rare earth elements. The plan, known as Project Vault, will be funded by a $12 billion loan from the U.S. Export-Import Bank. Earlier, President Trump talked about his plan.
For the past year, my administration has taken extraordinary steps to make sure the United States has all of the critical minerals and rare earths that we need.
China holds 70% of the Earth's rare earth minerals and 90% of global rare earths processing. The Strategic Reserve Plan could provide the U.S. with some leverage in trade talks with China.
In Ukraine, Moscow launched an attack on civilian infrastructure across the region overnight. The assault targeted a Ukrainian power grid. A successful attack would leave even more Ukrainians without power and heating. 32 ballistic missiles damaged several buildings and wounded at least 10 people. The attack comes one day before planned peace talks between both countries.
Back in this country, former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton have agreed to testify before the House Oversight Committee looking into the Epstein case. Representative James Comer pushed for a contempt of Congress vote after the Clintons initially refused to participate in the probe. The vote has since been canceled. The former president's relationship with Epstein has reemerged into the spotlight after recently released files revealed Clinton's flight logs and photos of the former president with Epstein. The Clintons will appear on Capitol Hill at the end of February to testify.
As the country prepares for Super Bowl weekend, Turning Point USA has announced the lineup for its Super Bowl halftime show. The organization has revealed their lineups of performers participating in the All-American Halftime Show. Kid Rock will be headlining the event, and show will feature country artists Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, and Gabby Barrett. The event was announced following conservative backlash over Bad Bunny's upcoming Super Bowl halftime show. The Puerto Rican artist will be accompanied by punk rock band Green Day, who will open the event, and Charlie Puth, who will perform the national anthem. Coming up, an inside look at ASU's annual alumni celebrity softball game.
The game is hosted every year to celebrate the start of baseball and softball season.
ASU is the best university in the world. It's done so much for me personally.
The special connection to keep ASU that keeps alumni returning, next on Cronkite News.
The scientists and engineers that support the next mission to Mars could be in this class.
Getting a degree at ASU is a journey that can take you anywhere. Into a world of groundbreaking technology and renowned award-winning faculty. Professors who help you to impact the world. Whether you're on campus or at home, becoming your best starts with learning from the best.
Welcome to the Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Emma Wakefield. The Arizona Cardinals have hired their 44th head coach in franchise history as former Rams offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur was introduced by the team this afternoon. Our Jacob Brooks has more from the Cardinals training facility in Tempe.
The Arizona Cardinals have their guy, as Mike LaFleur was officially introduced as the franchise's newest head coach today at their training facility in Tempe. LaFleur boasts plenty of experience in well-respected coaching trees around the league, spending time underneath Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco, as well as the last 3 years as the Rams offensive coordinator under Sean McVay in LA.
And I told, I think, Lauren at the time, about a year ago, I'm going to be the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals someday. It just felt right, and it was deep right there.
Really excited. I mean, if we can operate anywhere as closely as have the success that the Rams have had, that'd be a major positive.
To end up and get Coach Mike LaFleur and just to see how everything unfolded today, it obviously gives us excitement.
It's just, yeah, it is pretty surreal. I mean, just humble beginnings. I think we have a really great appreciation for just guys that are essentially playing for the love of the game.
So it's a fresh start for these guys. There's great pieces to work with. We'll continue to, provide to those pieces to put the best foot forward for this football team.
LaFleur officially becomes the 44th head coach in franchise history, as he'll look to right the ship for a Cardinals squad that finished 3-14 and last place in the NFC West in 2025. In Tempe, Jacob Brooks, Cronkite News.
Meanwhile, at the Super Bowl, a former Valley resident will try to win the Lombardi Trophy with his Seattle Seahawks. Wide receiver Rashid Shaheed was born in Phoenix. His dad ran track at ASU and thought his son would also be a runner, but Rashid was all about football, stuffing socks in his Cardinals jersey to mimic pads. Shaheed talks about how his competitive family prepared him for football's biggest stage.
Yeah, I would say it was very competitive. You know, it's always who's the fastest at whatever age. But we also had a lot of fun with it, and I feel like track and field has, built us a lot of character. Not only me, but my sisters and my parents throughout the years. We enjoyed the sport. Just being a kid, loving the game of football, and not caring, the circumstances, falling all over the place and not having pads on. Just being a kid, just enjoying it. Obviously, I remember it being very hot. But yeah, man, that's it.
Welcome home, Scat. On Sunday, ASU hosted the second annual celebrity softball game, and there was nobody that got a bigger cheer than the returning hero New York Giants running back Cam Skattebo, and let us tell you, he wasn't just there for show. Skattebo proved his talent on the softball field, hitting an out-of-the-park home run. He kept it light, though, coming off of that lower leg injury he suffered during the NFL season. The former Big 12 star embraced the fans and was grateful to be back home. He still keeps up with ASU football and says he could put in a good word with the Giants for receiver Jordan Tyson ahead of April's NFL draft.
I try. I mean, I'm going to try to get all my guys in the NFL, so they all have to come to the Giants, and that's what I'm going to try to do. But hopefully get something worked out. This is home for me, so it's somewhere I'm going to always come back to, somewhere I'm going to continue to come back to. I'm going to live here till I'm hopefully 80 years old, so this is home for me.
Cam Skattebo wasn't the only big-name alum in attendance, as the celebrity softball game draws a lot of former Sun Devils who can't wait to come back for this annual reunion. London Christensen has more on what this fun event means to the alumni.
Phoenix Municipal Stadium came alive this weekend as Sun Devil legends, former athletes, and celebrity guests returned for the second annual ASU Celebrity Softball Game.
ASU is the best university in the world. It's done so much for me personally, but then just even see how in the community currently and what we're doing in sports, in business, and medicine, like ASU is just an amazing place.
For these players, coming back gives them the opportunity to mentor current athletes and support the program that helped shape their careers.
When I was here, and I looked up to the guys that moved on to the next level, and see what I could learn from those guys. So being able to come back and maybe just help one guy out or help two guys out, that's everything.
What brings these athletes and alumni back isn't just the game; it's their lasting connection to ASU. For them, those memories will last a lifetime.
15 years has passed since I've been here, and we come back and we're just like it's another locker room day again, like it's another Monday after practice.
These alumni continue to help activate the Valley, turning their memories and experiences into inspiration for the next generation of Sun Devils. In Tempe, London Christensen, Cronkite News.
Moving on to the Winter Olympics, which kick off later this week in Milan. One veteran skier is pushing herself past her limits to represent Team USA. U.S. skiing star Lindsey Vonn says an injury won't stop her from competing. She will compete in the 2026 Winter Olympics despite a crash last Friday. The 41-year-old says she has a ruptured ACL, a meniscal tear, and a bone bruise in her left knee. That's it for tonight's Cronkite Sports Report. I'm Emma Wakefield. Thank you for joining us. Now back to Aaliyah and Ron.
Coming up next, people are still talking about this year's big Grammy winners, including Bad Bunny and Billie Eilish.
But did you know several kids from here in the Valley also took home an award? After the break, After the break, meet the group of winners and find out what category earned them gold at the Grammys. Welcome back, and let me say we're still talking about this week's Grammys, especially for the members of the Phoenix Boys Choir who took home a Grammy for the Best Video Game Soundtrack.
The boys had their song featured in the video game Sword of the Sea. They posted the moment they found out online.
And now goes to Sword of the Sea.
This new win means the Phoenix Boys Choir is now a 2-time Grammy-winning organization after their previous win in 2000. Composer Austin Winery will receive the physical Grammy, but don't worry, the boys will all receive a participation certificate to commemorate the achievement. That's it for tonight's edition of Cronkite News. I'm Aaliyah Steinley.
And I'm Ron Cunningham. Thank you for watching.
And to see top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.